The sickest and darkest irony about Charlie Kirk's murder was that he predicted it. What do I mean by that? In the seconds before he died, the last things that Charlie said was to disavow transgender violence, to disavow transgenderism itself as an abomination before God, and to talk about the spate of transgenders who have been mentally, physically disturbed, going on killing sprees. Up to that point, the reference was, of course, to the murder of children praying in a church in Minneapolis by a transgender activist who hated God and themselves and President Trump and Christianity, obviously. Charlie Kirk had been asked a question about transgender violence, and he said there's too much of it. These were his last words ever spoken.
So do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
It's 5. Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Obviously, we cut the shot there in the moment of Charlie Kirk losing his life on camera, some of the most disturbing footage, and a bullet fired from a transgender activist. Fired at that exact moment? Fired potentially in concert with that question? That I do not know. But the dark and chilling irony of it all has never sat well with me. And I think that there needs to be some real questions asked about it, along with the transgender activists that seem to have known that Charlie Kirk was going to die that day. And we have lots of posts of people celebrating before Charlie was ever shot, saying something big is going to happen, saying that something really bad is going to happen to Charlie Kirk. I think there is a much broader conspiracy there, and it's obviously a conspiracy that Charlie was right about the list of transgender attacks, violent attacks, include now Charlie Kirk. And I think we're losing so much of that in the actual overall conversation. It's something that has enraged me. But nothing has enraged me more than this. They ambushed Erika Kirk in this interview. Here's an interview with Barry Weiss that Erika Kirk did. Barry Weiss now runs CBS News. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about Barry Weiss, but I'm going to kind of leave that alone and ask the question, why the hell would you do this interview? I don't think that this was a good faith interview, and the reason why is very simple, as it has been proven out again and again and again. People that want corporate media adulation and pass on the head are always going to swing wildly left and do horrible things to us, to our families, to our children, to our grief. And this is the most horrible thing I've ever seen in my life. CBS News and Barry Weiss, as far as I know, without the prior approval, and I've checked with the team on this, without the prior approval of Erika Kirk, decided to ambush her with somebody named Hunter Kozak. Hunter Kozak is the man who was asking Charlie Kirk that question about transgender violence. So they brought in the man who was talking to Charlie as he died, and then he gives her a little lecture. Doesn't even say, "I'm sorry for your loss." He gives Erika a lecture about Trump's rhetoric. Are you effing kidding me? Reprehensible that Barry Weiss orchestrated this little Jerry Springer-style ambush against Erika Kirk. Beyond appalling, Barry Weiss, this kid, and everybody involved in this setup should be ashamed of themselves. It's revolting. Hey, Erika, I know I just murdered your husband, father of your young children, but could you talk about how evil his friend is for no reason? Not even sorry for your loss. It's absolutely disgusting, grotesque. Hey, classy move, Barry Weiss. Wasn't weird or uncomfortable at all. The new editor of CBS, one of the most prestigious jobs in journalism, decided to rage bait Erika Kirk in an attempt to tear down Donald Trump. So grotesque, Jerry Springer style. I was told Barry Weiss was going to make CBS a nice conservative organization. Psych. Piece of S leftist. How sickening is this setup? Who paid for the Kozak trip to the new studio in NBC? So much for Barry Weiss cleaning up CBS. Barry Weiss is a huge POS. Okay. So let's watch this gotcha question. And it'll really, frankly, make you very, very upset. Hunter Kozak is a Bolshevik ghoul, couldn't even bring himself to give condolences. Progressives are truly godless individuals who only want gay race communism. And like, you can watch it here, and something I think important context to add after this.
Erika, as you know, the last person that Charlie ever spoke to was a Utah Valley student named Hunter Kozak. He was asking Charlie a question that day when he was shot, and he's here tonight, and he wants to ask you a question.
Hi there. Erika, I want to tell you how much I appreciate your calls for peace and unity, and I'm likewise horrified by the people in my so-called camp who were cheering about Charlie's murder. I believe that they stoke the flames of violence. But even worse is when powerful, influential people on either side of the aisle stoke the flames. When they do it, the flames can become an inferno. And this leads me to Donald Trump, the most powerful and influential person on earth, who has more responsibility than anyone else to put the flames out. Just last month, President Trump called on 6 Democratic lawmakers to be tried for sedition, which he clarified was punishable by death. He then reposted a simple message: hang them. I think that you've been making strides to bring peace to our country, and that turning point has been asking Democrats to decry the individuals who cheer for violence. I have and will continue to decry them. But any good faith effort to stop political violence must hold both parties to the same standard and expectation. So in that spirit, will you condemn the violent rhetoric of Donald Trump, the most powerful and influential person on earth?
I appreciate your question. You know my heart. Why would I ever say, yes, go murder people? This is so much deeper than just one. I understand your sentiment. I do. But this is also so much deeper than just one person. This starts at the home, okay? This starts with family. This starts with a seed that grows and grows. You can choose to have evil in your heart, or you can choose to have light. What you consume and what you absorb from the outside world will manifest itself. No, I will never agree with political violence. My husband is a victim of it. I'm a victim of it. But what I'm trying to say here is that we can blame everyone else. We have to look in the mirror. When you become a father, when you become a mother, how are you raising your kids? Are you taking responsibility, or are you giving them a device and saying, go down that rabbit hole? I'm trying to go to Pilates class. You can just sit in the corner and look at your iPad or look at your phone and go down that rabbit hole and see what you can learn from that instead of being a parent. So my call to action from that is, parents, step up. Do you want your kid to be a thought leader or an assassin? That's where we're at.
Do you think our political leaders have a responsibility to turn the temperature down right now?
Well, I think everyone has a responsibility to do that, and I'm doing my part. I'm not in control of other people.
This is a horrible thing to put Erika Kirk on the spot here. I'm not going to try and lecture Erika or anybody involved in any of this. I think there's been plenty of attacks and enough of that. But I'll say this, just as a primer for how we should be speaking about these moments, which is to say, you want me to apologize for rhetoric when somebody on your side killed my husband? No, I refuse to do that. I'm not going to agree with your contention that rhetoric is what's killing people. What's killing people is you. You're literally killing people. I don't care about your hurt feelings. Open debate and dialogue is essential to this country. The true evil is the bullets that kill people when the debates are over. A transgender killed my husband, had a live-in transgender boyfriend. I don't really know how to classify that. whatever that case may be, that's what Tyler Robinson was. He killed my husband for speaking. I will not affirm the premise of your question, you sick goblin. Now get the fuck out of my sight. Just my advice. And stop killing people. And were you in on it? How about you disavow all of this transgender violence? Oh, the president used naughty words that hurt your feelings? How about all of these children that have been slaughtered by transgenders? My husband also happens to be on the list, orphaning my children, widowing me. So literally off. Just one man's opinion on how we could answer these questions. Just it's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.